I think this Rudy Gobert beef with Shaq is very interesting on many different levels. Now, if you listen to Rudy Gobert, he'll tell you it's not beef. They don't got no beef. And I get what he's saying. I get that. I see this from two angles. Now, what I'll say is this. Shaq is right. He'll drop 45 points, 16 rebounds, miss 10 free throws, and he'll do it all in 3 quarters. And at the same time, Rudy Gobert will have 11 points, probably foul out, whatever. I get that. I agree with Shaq with that. I don't think Gobert can see Shaq in that sort of aspect. I think Shaq is one of the hardest, if not one of the is the hardest, if not one of the hardest players to guard in the NBA through all time. But that doesn't take away the fact that Shaq is a hater. I'm going to just tell you exactly how it is, because I don't bite my tongue. Shaq is hating. Shaq is coming off as a pure hater. This is what he does, and I'm noticing a pattern with him. Because you see what happens with the old heads? You take a guy like Shaq, who was dominant, in his prime, dominant at basketball. The truth, you can't do nothing with Shaq. He's a 30-point, 20-point, 25-plus point monster. If he would have hit free throws, he probably averaged 50 points a game. It was very easy to score with Shaq. Also play defense on the defensive side of the ball. He was a great passer out of the low post. I mean, Shaq gave you it his all. If you wanted to give Kobe all the credit for the Lakers, do that. If you wanted to give Shaq all the credit, do that. But to me, they worked hand in hand. I can't give the Lakers a championship without Shaq, and I can't give the Lakers a championship without Kobe. With that being said, Rudy Gobert is his own player. Those two don't compare. When you look at Rudy Gobert and you look at Shaq, it's two separate games, two different types of basketball games. Shaq has to stop discrediting the big men of today just because his era or how good he was in his time. You see, there's a time where we have to learn to let go. We all have a prime. I got a prime, you got a prime. Basketball player, everybody has their prime. And when your prime is there, it comes and it goes. And it's somebody else's turn to get the limelight. Shaq, you're an announcer now. You're on TNT. You're doing broadcasting. You're doing games. We know you're one of the greatest big men of all time. Anybody going against that statement is hating. But at the same time, you got to give credit to your counterparts. You got to give credit to the dudes that's coming up. Rudy Gobert is not whack. He's not an offensive player. He's a defensive player. He's a 3-time or 4-time defensive player of the year. That takes credit. You got to give props for that. If it was that easy, everybody would be defensive players of the year and whatnot. Back in his time, you had the Theo Ratliffs, the Mutombos, the Alonzo Mourners, a lot of defenders. Rudy Gobert, to me, in my opinion, is right there with him. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer yet, but Rudy Gobert is a damn good defensive player. Now, we know Shaq is way better than Rudy Gobert. We know in a matchup setting, whatever the teams are, Shaq will give Rudy Gobert the business. But you got to stop hating. Shaq, give credit where credit is due. Rudy Gobert is still an astonishing defensive player, and that's his lane. That's his lane. Now, I get what he's saying. He ain't trying to go back and forth. He ain't beefing with Shaq. He's giving Shaq his credit, falling back. That's the grown man thing to do. I respect that from Rudy Gobert. Now, here's where I'm going to turn your mind, and I'm going to switch up on you just like that. Because at the same time, how I'm giving Rudy Gobert his credit, I'm going to snatch it away just like that. Because this is what I'm talking about this era. This era is soft. Yes. These basketball players today are soft. So I respect Shaq for going at Rudy Gobert at the same time, because that's what it's about too. You have to have confidence. If somebody's talking trash about me and want basketball, let's take it to the court. Let's show out. Rudy Gobert, you can talk back because you have accolades to back up what you're talking. You got footage to back up your defensive play. So don't let Shaq run his mouth just because he was dominant in his era. That's his era. This is your era now, Rudy. This is your time to show on. It's your time to push out. So I get it with the trash talking. I'm with all of that from Shaq. I like that about that era. I like that these dudes used to go at it. Isaiah Thomas, Jordan, they wasn't cool. Bad Boy Pistons, all of them dudes was not cool. Maybe after the game they was cool, but on the basketball court they got busy. And that's what I respect about that era. Them dudes was not friends. Everybody was not dapping it up and piecing it up like they doing nowadays. So with Shaq going at Rudy Gobert, I get it. If you think he's soft, then call him out. Rudy Gobert, speak up for yourself. Because you know you're a good player. Just because Shaq is an old head talking his junk, talk your junk back. It's a different era of basketball. I get it. You can't be as aggressive. You can't be as physical. But you know what? Your game speaks for itself. Period. So I'm going to talk my junk just the way Shaq is going to talk his junk. And we'll see who gets there in the end. But don't worry about Shaq. Stop hating and let the boy rock. Rudy Gobert is decent. He's a solid center, solid defensive player of the NBA. Period.